What's up, guys? I'm finally back after being extremely ill. But yeah, welcome back to Transfer Talks. I might have to pause this sometimes to cough in between, just so you all know. But yeah, I'm really struggling at the moment. But I'm actually feeling a lot better recently, which is why I am back with a video for you guys today. So basically, we are back in Transfer Talks. Obviously, the January transfer window is open, and we haven't seen a lot of action, but we are going to talk about some possible action within this transfer window and possibly within the summer as well, which is coming up. So Harry Kane, a player who last season was tremendous, you know, to say it the least. It pains me to say as an Arsenal fan, but he was, you know, you cannot say that he wasn't good because he was just, you know, non-stop scoring. And yeah, a player that, you know, has really obviously been targeted, appeared on a lot of clubs' radars. But Real Madrid, I kind of find myself asking, really? I think Real Madrid can do better. I think that basically at the moment, Real Madrid, after everything that happened under Rafa, there's a lot of unsettlement, and whether or not it's gone now because Rafa's gone remains to be seen. And I think the media are kind of jumping on that hype at the moment that there is still unsettlement at Real Madrid, that it's going to lead to players leaving. As you can see here, Kane is being eyed as a Ronaldo replacement. Now, the only kind of evidence I have to back this up was, you know, with Ronaldo being somewhat unsettled, is and this is the only thing I can think of that the media have used, is there was a video over the weekend in Real Madrid's game where they won 5-0, of before the game when the players are in the tunnel and, you know, getting ready to go out onto the pitch. All the Real Madrid players are stood together. However, Ronaldo is sat on his own to the right hand side of them, just sat on the steps, and he's not engaging with his players. Now, it could be absolutely nothing, but I think that video has obviously sparked a hell of a lot of rumours. And you know, with Kane, obviously he's kind of back into his scoring ways at Tottenham as well. It took him a bit to get back into scoring again, but he did. And obviously he scored a penalty yesterday for Tottenham against Leicester. And yeah, I think that because Kane is like kind of, you know, coming back and you know, scoring again, I think that he's obviously hyping up the media a bit. And I don't think personally he'd be an ideal replacement for Ronaldo. I don't think he could replace any of Real Madrid's front three. I don't think he'd be a good replacement for any of those. However, I think if he was to join Real Madrid as like an addition to what they've already got, I think that would be great. I think he'd be a good little, you know, an impact sub. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to knock him so much, but I don't think he's going to be a regular for Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. And poor old Tottenham, forever having their players linked with Real Madrid. Their superstars always just seem to leave to Real Madrid. Next up, we have got Ilkay Gundogan. I think I said that right. He's been linked by two Barclays Premier League teams. We've got Manchester United and Liverpool. I think that he would be an ideal signing for both sides, who is still somewhat struggling this year. Both had you know, kind of not so great years, well, not so great seasons, I mean. And I just think that, yeah, Gundogan would be phenomenal. I think over both sides, I think he'd possibly be leaning more towards Liverpool, because purely for the fact because he's worked with Jurgen Klopp before, and I think Klopp could have that word in his ear, you know, and kind of reel him in at Liverpool. I think, however, he's definitely a player that both sides need at the moment. I think he would definitely strengthen both sides. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with him. It seems that he's always getting linked with Manchester United. I think it's just another Benzema to Arsenal kind of rumour thing. It's another one of those sagas, I think. But yeah, I could see him at Liverpool. I could honestly see him at Liverpool. Next up, Whatever happened to this guy? Can somebody please tell me? He was so good, and then he moved to the BPL, and everything just fell. Everything just totally fell apart. I remember, like, before he moved to Man United, like the Arsenal were being linked with him, and Arsenal obviously just signed Welbeck, and United had signed Falcao, and everyone was laughing at Arsenal. But I mean, who's laughing now? Who turned out to be the better signing out of those two? I mean, you guys tell me. So yeah, it's hilarious. It really is. But I think this kind of makes sense. Basically, Falcao is thinking about cutting his Chelsea loan short, and going back to Monaco, where I think he belongs. He's tried 2 different clubs now on the BPL. Both haven't worked for him. He obviously does not belong over here. I think, I hope that didn't sound offensive. I didn't mean it like that. I meant, obviously this league doesn't suit him. But yeah, I think, he's obviously better off in France. I think it's probably a league that suited him more, probably playing styles that suited him more. But yeah, like I say, he's tried it at Man United. His time at United was woeful, to say at best. And at Chelsea, he's just pretty much been non-existent. So it just didn't make sense in Chelsea having him in the first place, in my opinion. I think that was Mourinho trying to like, I don't know, prove some kind of point that, he can make the best out of Falcao, and he was promising all of this from Falcao, and we are still yet to see it. But yeah, I just think that this would probably make a lot of sense, and I think this is probably one of the most likely cases for Falcao. Next up, we have got Gareth Bale, another Real Madrid star. There's just a lot of like hype around Real Madrid at the moment, obviously with everything that's gone on. People are just kind of suggesting that there's a lot of unsettlement there. I mean, clearly there was some unsettlement, but I think with Rafa going now and Zidane coming in, I think he's going to keep the players together. However, Bale, yet again, the Bale United thing is something that media just tend to love for some reason. I think that they think he's like the next Giggsy or something, going back to United, a Welsh legend on the wing, I think it's one of those type of things. But yeah, ideally, realistically, I don't think it's going to happen. But apparently Man United are readying a 75 million plus bid for Gareth Bale. Now, they might be trying to get him, they really might be, but I just don't think he's going to leave. I cannot see that happening. Especially now that at Real Madrid there's a lot, there's difference. I think that the players are going to want to perhaps wait at least until the summer before deciding if they want to stay or not. Because they're going to want to give Zidane a chance. The man's an absolute legend, so I think I can't really see Bale leaving. And last but not least, we have got Hazard. Now, I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm going to get this one out of the way first. This season, he's been non-existent, but, before you Chelsea fans close this video or leave a dislike rating, or are about to comment me some hate right now, Hazard is a fantastic player. He is one of the best players in the Premier League. Clearly been unsettled at Chelsea. Something, it's similar to the Real Madrid saga. Something has been going on, clearly. Clearly, something in those dressing rooms just hasn't been going right, basically. And it's obviously had a big impact on Hazard this season, as it has other Chelsea players as well. Hazard, I think, I can see this happening, to be honest. I think it all depends on like what the current situation is. Obviously, Chelsea have got a new manager now in Gus Hiddink, taken over from Mourinho now. Maybe that is... We've already seen, Chelsea have kind of picked up a little bit if you've watched them. After Mourinho departed, they do seem somewhat better. And, just like the old Chelsea that we knew, And basically, yeah... Hazard has been linked with a lot of clubs at the moment. Madrid, Bayern Munich, and PSG as well, all trying to land him. I think he possibly could be tempted just with how things have gone. I think safe to say he's made his mark on the BPL, and I don't really want him to leave as a Premier League fan, but I think either one of those clubs is realistic, with possibly Real Madrid or PSG. I can't really see Bayern too much, but Madrid or PSG I think definitely looks likely. And yeah, all the best to him. Even though I'm an Arsenal fan, all the best to Hazard, because he is a phenomenal player, and I'm not, a biased person, I will admit the obvious that he hasn't been existent this season, which is true. But you can't take away the fact that he's still a phenomenal player. There's still a brilliant player in there. It's just about him finding himself again, and whether or not he does that at Chelsea or at another club, you know, remains to be seen. We'll have to wait and see. This has been the end of Transfer Talks, guys. Thank you all for watching this episode. I hope you have all enjoyed it. And yeah, be sure to comment and leave a like, rate and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll be back very, very soon.